play a concert next?
Oh goodness, we actually haven't booked any shows lately. Like I've been like pretty much just holed in working on this record, so we don't know really when we're playing. I think the release parties will be the next like shows that we play. So that'll be like end of May, I think is what we're planning on, but I'm not allowed to say that that's when we're releasing it. It just is happening soon, so I can't like say a date, but it'll be the next couple of months, I'm guessing.
So the next time you really like go on a tour, it's a hey, here's my album, let's do this tour.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so like the next actual tour will be an MLB radio tour when we're pushing the single, and we'll go out to like 158 different radio stations. I'll be gone for like 3 weeks, like up at 3 in the morning, like 10 stations a day. Like it's going to be crazy. And then after that will be when we'll probably get on the like front of an arena tour. We'll be out with the headliner for a couple months, and then that's when things will hopefully start kind of heading in the direction that I want to go. So,
well, that is awesome.
Don't forget about us little people.
We will come see you, when it makes sense or whatever. So for sure,
you guys are awesome.
Yeah, you got to come through Atlanta for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I will for sure. I mean, we're not that far, so I actually just drove through there today. But we've had a crazy week with family and stuff, or else I would have stopped. But
no, it's all good.
No, it's all good. I know we tried to connect there briefly, but my schedule.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a week.
Yeah. So what was the name of that place where we saw Cody Jinks? Was that West Terminal place?
Oh, Terminal West?
Terminal West. Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool venue.
That venue's like, it's intimate, but it can hold a lot of people, and it kind of has that sort of stadium style.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So this,
it's really cool.
Yeah, so great. And Cody Jinks is
down the middle. It's regular, like one section of a place like the Fox, like maybe 40 rows, 30 rows, where it's all seating, and 15 seats wide or whatever it is. But then on each side, there was like stair-stepped, kind of like standing, like bar-type areas. Not that there was a bar there, but like, you milled around like you were at a bar, just on your feet.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I mean, what were we? We were less than 100 feet from the stage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were real close. Like I said, it was really
and there was probably 350 people in there.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, great. Like, send me a list of venues that are close to you guys, and when we're putting the tour together, I can, like, get them to my agent and see if it makes sense for us to book something, or if there's a headliner that's coming through we can open for. Because that's pretty much what I'll be doing for the next, like, year, is just opening up for people. And kind of getting my seat time in and getting ready for the big stuff. So.
Well, there's Rusty's living room. There's
that seats about 11.
You could do that.
Yeah, until the HOA gets on to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I've played in race haulers before. That can't be much different.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. I love it. Well, we're ready to get started. So, Sydney, here's what I thought. I thought for the intro music, we'd just play the song that you sent. I was going to kind of fade it into the chorus, and then when the chorus is done, me and Sherwin will just start hooting and hollering and start the show.
Oh, that's perfect.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. And then we'll after that we'll just bring you in and talk about it and stuff. It may go silent on you for 30 seconds or so while we're doing that. You'll probably hear us hoot and holler, but you might not hear the music, your own music.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get it going. And you've been on the show a few times. You know how it goes. So we'll just do our normal stuff.
Sound good.
Awesome. Well, Sherwin, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sydney, you ready to roll?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here goes nothing. We are recording now. Welcome, y'all! That's right, it's a little different today, but this is still the Pre-Game Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast. It's episode number 142. Today's Thursday, April 12th, 2018. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace, joining the PTM Podcast studio with Pre-Game Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
This is so cool. I love it. So, this is one of my favorite kind of shows to do, right? It's a little bit off the path of just doing NASCAR.
We're going to talk country music. We're going to talk about NASCAR. I just got goosebumps. This is cool as hell.
It's all the kind of stuff that you would kind of normally expect us to do, but this is I really like doing this thing.
I hear you. Before we get started, the PTM podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. You go to patreon.com/PTM. Join the What You Drink Club for as little as $1 a month. Get free koozie and some stickers. The best part is, every cent in 2018, we're donating to sponsoring drivers. Join the PTM posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. And this year, we are sponsoring Mr. Jensen Jorgensen. Go back to PTM 141 last episode and get the whole download on what he's up to and how that's going in the Legend Series. This week's show is brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. Y'all hang with me just for a second. That's Catherine Kingston, Ashley Stang, David Patterson, Laura Henshaw, Harry Balzania, Mick Rose, Aaron Bearden, Robert Keplinger, Tony Salt, Copeland McClay, Eric Kepner, Ryan Kiefer, Marion the Best, Patrick Cleary, Jeff Brown, Brandon Crowd, Kathleen McDonald, Stacey Wright, Brandon Carl, Billy Workman, Rika Porter, Jumpy Bob and Les Miller, Jason Rudd, Tommy Witt, and Mark Wiley. Thank y'all so much. Sherwin, let's do this.
That list is awesome.
It's beefy.
Leaving me almost speechless, really.
Like, you can go take a bathroom break. You can kind of chill.
Oh, you totally could.
You can do all kinds of stuff while we're doing that. The song that we just played in this opening is called To Be Young. It's off our guest's brand new album, Chasing Trains. We want to welcome to the show Nashville recording artist and huge racing fan who just finished up her first album. It's Sydney Lett. Sydney, what's happening?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, man, we are thrilled to death and tickled beyond explanation to be able to play that song. We'll play it again in the outro and have people listen to it. That was kind of the chorus of it, but the intro has this awesome like fiddle thing going on, and I can't be more excited about what you got going on, and you're the one who has it going on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sometimes I just sit back and I'm like, is this my life? Like, what happened? Like, craziness. It's a good crazy though. Like, it's just, oh wow, yeah, it's been great.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, kind of watching your progress now. So we've kind of been engaged with you for about a year now.
Yeah, something
and
like that.
Just kind of seeing what stuff's going on. We know you've been really excited about getting some music out to the public. You've been super generous in allowing us to use some of your music as a part of our show, which we get complimented on all the time, and every time.
By the way, for the people who don't know, our normal intro song that we play, that We Are NASCAR, this is the gal.
Yeah, this is her. Yeah. So there's probably a ton of new people that like just heard the song and go, "Man, We Are NASCAR. That's cool."
Yeah,
sounds kind of country, kind of rock, and a lot of them probably don't know that it's you and it's yours, and we have this cool relationship where we get to use that music, and we're very thankful for it because, like I said, people are super complimentary of it.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I love you guys. Like, I'm just glad the song gets to be heard because I'm such a NASCAR fan and I like to share that side of my heart with everybody. So I'm glad everyone likes it, making me cry over here.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to do a lot of crying
short of that.
If that's the case.
Y'all know me. I cry at everything, though. Let's be real.
All right. Well, you know how the thing starts. We got to ask you what you're drinking tonight.
Well, I am 21 now, so
Booyah.
I'm actually drinking the real stuff. I actually have a plum cider from Appalachian Mountain Cidery, which is amazing.
Oh,
it's
that's
like
super
amazing.
cool.
It's like apple pie in a can with alcohol. It's pretty great.
Where? So did you buy that near you, or did you go to the place, or do you know where that place is?
I was actually at Old Hickory Station, I believe it's called, up in Hickory, and they have like a bunch of local breweries that come in and sell stuff, and the can was pretty, and I was like, I just turned 21, I'm like, it's pretty, it might be good, it might suck, I don't know, so I bought some, and it was good, so we're good, we're sticking with it.
Sherwin just turned, I think, 37, and he also goes by pretty cans.
I do.
I'm a good fan of them.
If you like hopped beers, and something's got green artwork on it, like this, Fresh and So Green from Terrapin in Athens, Georgia. It's almost always bulletproof. Like like pale ales, IPAs. If it's green, it's good. So I'm guilty of that a lot. But I am getting into ciders. I've had a few lately that I really liked. I don't think I could drink very many of them in a row because of the sweetness, but there are a few out there that are like tart, or like there's even some dry hopped ones. So one of the cool things about this restaurant chain we have down here that's kind of a rewards program is that you can try a bajillion beers.
Shout out to Laura Henshaw. Shout out to Laura Henshaw for making fun of me. That fiddle thing, she said, fiddle thing, that's very technical.
Fiddle.
That fiddle thing at the beginning.
In Nashville, that fiddle situation, or that like mandolin thing going on. Yeah, that's just what we do.
Oh, right. Sherwin, what are we drinking on besides that So Fresh, So Green? You brought a bottle that is still
wrapped up, isn't it?
Still wrapped up. What's his story?
Yeah. All right. Well, the bottle that I bought is we're going to the great state of Tennessee to race cars this week, right?
Indeed.
So
literally going
in honor of that, I've got some George Dickel.
Holy crap!
Tennessee sour mash whiskey.
Hell yeah!
Because I like this better than that old number 7.
Yeah.
Not putting down old number 7. Just saying I like Dickel better.
Preference deal.
So we're going to bust into this in a little while when things really get in the ditch.
Once we go sideways, it doesn't take long for that. We'll get there
about 15 minutes
very shortly. Yeah. So Sydney, I don't know if everybody who's listening knows, but you have just finished up a new album. Tell us what it feels like to put a wrap on that, and tell us about the album a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's really bittersweet because this has been, the last 7 years of my life, really, like trying to write, everything that I wanted to say and what my life has been like in such a long period of time. And so I feel like, finally wrapping it up and finally being ready to put it out to the world. Like, I'm really excited for it, but like, I'm also like going back. I'm like, maybe I should have done this differently, or maybe I should have added more banjo in this line. Like, I'm so like, I'm not ready to close the chapter, but I'm really excited because I feel like it's a really good recap of, the person that I've become over the last few years. And I'm even like more excited about the second one now because I'm already writing for that one. So I know I'm like, haven't even put the first one out and I've already got the second one written. So, but I'm really excited about it. We had some killer players on it and some songs I'm really proud of. So I'm way ready for it to be out.
Super looking forward to that. And what can we expect out of the album? What are your I don't know how to ask somebody because I don't interview artists that often. So
We're
like
what's
the
Can you tell?
A journalist would have a very specific question with good vocabulary, and they
thought about
be,
some questions ahead of time.
Right,
maybe?
they wouldn't be drinking. But no, what's the?
That's why I love you guys.
It's all about the fun.
What do we expect out of this album? What going in? What is it like? Is it the 2017 pop country that doesn't belong on the radio and sucks, or is it awesome country music?
It is awesome country music.
Hell yes.
The one thing I can say is that I have had a couple people tell me that it sounds like a modern Dolly, and I'm not going to say that about myself because I never would, because I adore her, and in my eyes I will never come close to even being a little bit of as amazing as she is. But I've heard that from a few people that have heard the record so far, and I mean, I just want people to like. It's country. Like, we like stacked some fiddles on there. There actually, to be young, we had one fiddle track on it, and I went back. My producer is not a huge fiddle fan, and I went back when he snuck out to get some snacks or something, and I grabbed the fiddle player and I was like, hey, so here's the deal. Like, we're gonna add like 3 more fiddle tracks, and you can just go ahead and play over my vocal if you want to. Just keep playing over everything. Like, you can play over the banjo, the mandolin. Like, it doesn't matter. This is your song now. Like, I just want you to play everything you possibly can. And my producer came back and noticed there's literally 8 more fiddle tracks in the song. And he's like, Sydney, what did you do? What is this? I'm like, it's staying there. You're not deleting them, because I will come back with Joe, my awesome friend here, Joe, who has a fiddle, and we're going to add more. If you take any of this off, we'll add 10 more of what you took. And so there's a lot of that in there. There's a lot of they actually let me kind of co-produce it, so I got to like throw in some cool dobro solos when I wanted them, and really kind of not only write the lyrics, but I also kind of got to say more of what I wanted to say using the instruments too, which I thought was really cool. So
that is awesome. I love fiddle. That, to me, it's either if you don't have fiddle or if you don't have pedal steel, then I don't know that you've made a country song.
Oh yeah,
you got to have at least one of those.
Yeah.
There's some goosebumps, and those are going to continue throughout the evening for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, that's so. We were talking in the pre-show, like, if you nowadays, if you tell somebody like me or Sherwin that like I'm going for 90s country here, it's like, oh, you're in the right place. This is where it's at. I was just telling a coworker of mine that I did some carpooling this week because his car was out of service, and he just lives right up the road from me. So we carpooled to work, and I was listening to some music, and he goes, I thought you were more into country. And I'm like, man, it's hard to find good country music right now. My favorite country music, 90s country, but they don't make that no more because that's 90s country, right?
All we got is this dancey crap.
Right.
And synthesizers and...
Yeah.
You don't hear Eric... Like this is Atlanta, Georgia. Our country music stations don't play Eric Church. You know,
it's so sad. There's so much good country. Like I was just at country radio seminar back in February, which is basically when you have a single that you're putting out or an album, you do country radio seminar, which you go and you meet writers and radio programmers and that kind of stuff. And our hotel room was next to Midlands. I don't know if you've heard them yet, but their record is killer. Like I am obsessed with them. I'm pretty sure actually Ryan Blaney is obsessed with them too. So we've been like fangirling over them together, and one of them added me on Facebook the other day. So I messaged Ryan and I was like, dude, the lead singer of Midland just added me on Facebook. What do I do? And he's like freaking out and I'm freaking out, and like I haven't fangirled over anyone in a while, so it was pretty great. So if you haven't heard them, they're amazing and you will love them, so look them up.
Oh, that's
excellent. Yep, speechless again. Yeah, I mean, what I have lost in listening to music on the radio when I'm driving, I've filled that space with listening to podcasts, but I would happily open that space back up if good music was available and a good DJ knew what they were doing.
Well, we need to like
ride around in your car with you and play you all my favorite stuff. I got you.
Okay, sounds good.
That's what I was about to say. Like, we need to hook it up with Sydney and have her tell us like all the people that we ought to be listening to right now. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I could go on a rant right now about all the people that should be on radio. That
well,
aren't.
this is the show that rants ought to be gone on.
Right. So I've started listening to a little bit of Sturgill and Luke Combs and some of those guys.
There's so many. Luke Combs is fabulous. I used to play at the listening room in Nashville with him before he got signed, and he's like insanely killer. Cody Jinks, Wade Bowen is amazing if you haven't heard him. Pretty much like anyone like in Texas. Austin has an insane group right now that's killing it, and I know Nashville's just like Nashville's not going to win out on this. Like there's too many artists that are coming in with like good music that are not going to. They're not taking this like fake drum crap in their songs anymore. They're going down like the bro country era. They better take their lifted trucks and get the heck out. I'm just saying.
I hear you, and don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, because your era is not going to last much longer. I don't think. There's just too much good music out there. Otherwise. I think it just depends on who actually wants to listen to the radio. But now that we have access to music through a whole host of other avenues, it may not matter. Radio may not matter very much anymore when you have iTunes and Google Play and Spotify and Pandora and all. I mean, I can't list them all because there's a million.
There's so many, and like we actually in country radio seminar we had a couple. Bobby Bones, we were in a conference with him, and like even him, being a huge DJ, like radio's dying out because for one, people don't want to hear this stuff anymore. Like it's not country. Like if you turn, there was one artist that I heard a song of who literally put a country record out that had a dubstep song in it. And, like, it's bad when, like, Dolly Parton won't even endorse you. Like, come on. Like, if Dolly says it's not country, it ain't country. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
You know what? Maybe there needs to be this judge panel of, like, Dolly Parton.
Oh, my God. And Dolly, Garth Brooks.
Yeah, I was about to say Garth.
Well, somebody bring Merle Haggard back. God rest his soul.
I love Garth, but there's a lot of people that are, say, 5 or 10 years older than Rusty and I that think Garth started this movement that got us to where we are because he did.
Bullspit.
I don't agree with that either.
I love Garth. I don't know if y'all saw my Facebook status, but so Garth's the vice president of his label was the program director at my home station when I was like 11. So his name's Andy Elliott, and he's watched me grow up. And I put a Facebook status out the other day. I was like, my lifelong dream is for Garth Brooks to dress up as Darth Vader for Halloween, so I can say, "Hey guys, look, it's Darth Brooks."
I thought that I really liked. I don't know who was it that commented on it, but I did like Darth Brooks a lot. Like Darth Vader's funny.
Like
Darth
I'm
Vader,
such a Star Wars nerd.
Darth Brooks is good.
God.
It's fun. It's funny either way, to be honest with you.
It's funny he's got both of them.
And just his personality and like envisioning him just walking around in that costume and like my Star Wars nerd self would I'd be the happiest girl in the world if that happened. But so I'm gonna try to convince his Andy if he can make that happen just someday. I'll just beg him.
It probably could. I think you get Garth in the right mood, he would probably be into that. Sure. I got to give a quick shout out to because we were talking about good country music. The only reason why I've been able to listen to any of it is that my good friend Claire told me she's got
her finger on the pulse.
She's got cousins that play in a touring band, and they play. Austin is like their home base, so they play that kind of. I mean, it's not totally Texas country, but it's Texas-y country, and so they have they know what's going on around them. And of course, Cody Jinks is from Texas, and she's like, "You got to listen to this guy. I know you'll like him because I know you like." She's the kind that like she does the same thing. Hey Alexa, play Joe Diffie.
Yeah,
and then just let her buck.
Yeah.
And so I trusted her, and I listened to it, and I was like, I think this music is awesome. Rusty, you should check this out, because I know Rusty loves music way more than me in terms of consumption, for sure. And he's like, yeah, I like this. And I'm like, guess what? He's going to be in Atlanta in April. Like, all right, let's go. And so last year we went, and it was awesome.
Love Cody. My friend Austin Tritt plays steel guitar for him, so I've gotten to kind of live like through their touring journey through Austin. But he's
cool.
Unreal, so talented.
And there's so much content out there. Like he did an outdoor concert with a couple other people. And they're just sitting there playing and telling stories and cutting up, and there's a lot out there. So for anybody that really likes chilled out country, go check out Cody Jinks. We've said it a million times. We were saying it like 100 times a show last year.
Yeah,
but he had his whole era of life where he was like this like death metal rocker, and then he started to get into Texas country, and then he graduated into what I would say is more what we like, the 90s country style, which is just country music. Like you can hear the Texas stuff because it's got a very specific beat. When somebody says Texas country, it's can you Texas two-step to it? Is it bang, 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 bang?
But it's 90s country brought into 2017, 2018. That's what's
like
cool
the
to me.
Sound,
like,
the writing,
loud and
the
heavy
music.
is like if 90s country knew what we know today, this is what it sounds like. And that to me is
loud and heavy might
That's a cool
be
way to
my
put it.
absolute
That's how Midland is.
song.
That's their sound. Like their song "Lonely for You Only" is like literally killer. Like as soon as you guys get off this podcast, you need to go listen to their whole record. I'm telling you,
we're gonna.
We got the rest of the night because we're getting up in the morning to go to Bristol.
Yeah, we've got 4.5 hours
the whole way to Bristol. I want you guys to have the whole thing memorized and sing back the entire record to me on the next show.
Okay.
That's a challenge. That is one challenge.
Yep, we'll do it. Watch this. So one thing I'm interested in is like the behind the scenes stuff that folks might not know about, like recording an album and producing it and what all happens. Walk us through a little bit maybe of something that folks might not know otherwise.
Oh, goodness. Well, it is not the kind of process that people think. I mean, a lot of people think that you just go in with a band and you sing the songs and you're done. And it is not how it goes at all. So we, when we first started recording the record, we had what we call a listening party where my producer, me, a couple of the engineers, my mama, of course, and a couple other people came into the studio middle of the night. With over, I think we had 93 songs that we listened through to pick our final 12 for the record. So that's usually your first step is you narrow it down to like, what do you want to say in a record? What do you I look at my records, I don't know if all artists do this, but I look at them as like chapters of my life. And like, I want, from track 1 to track 13, I wanted to tell a story of who I've become or like the moments in my life that, hopefully people will relate to. But usually when we started out, we booked, I think it was like 2 weeks of just solid studio time where we had what we call sessions where the band will come in, and we actually had a lot of Reba's band that played on the record. So we had them. We'd get up at like 6 in the morning, be in the studio by 8, and we would track until, like 4 or 5. And we would just track the musician. So we would listen to the work tape is what we call it. Like usually it's like an iPhone recording of me writing the song. And then the band will listen to it. And these guys are so insanely talented that they listen to the song one time, write out a chart, and they're already playing it. And it already sounds amazing. And so we went through that. So we didn't really have to change much, but we would go through each song for about, an hour and a half, 2 hours and track the instruments for that. And then once you get past instruments, you track vocals, and that is usually the tremendously horrible part for me, is because you're like an entire day of just singing. So usually my voice is gone at the end of the day, no coffee. So my engineer, Joe, was drinking 2 coffees a day because I told him, I'm like, buddy, I can't drink a latte today, so you're drinking 2 because I you know how I am with my coffee, so somebody's going to be drinking it for me. But so we would track usually, I think we did 2 weeks of vocals, and then after that was mixing. So that's just kind of going through, and my producer and me will go through and, like, you know, we think the fiddle needs to be brought up here a little bit, or like bring the drums out in this verse, where you pretty much just edit everything to where it's sonically all the same, or it all sounds, you know, how it's supposed to. And then you have mastering, which is pretty much like the best way I know how to put it is like you got your fancy nail color, that's like making it all pretty, that's mixing, and then you put the clear coat on top to make it shiny, and that's mastering. And that makes it all like ready for radio, and like puts all the cool little filters in it to make you sound all good. But it was a long process. Like, we worked on this record for, I think we started cutting it November of 2016, and so we just now are getting it finished up and ready to go. So it was a long process, but there's a lot of early mornings and then nights that we stayed till like 3 in the morning, where we just, you know, we were stuck on one song where we just wanted it to be perfect.
That's that is eye-opening in terms of the thing that got me the most probably is, you said, how many songs did y'all listen to? Like, how many? You said 90 or something? Or?
We went through, I think we had a list of like 90 songs we listened to over a couple nights, and then I sent my producer like a couple emails, just of a ton of them. And he had to be brutally honest. There's a couple where I was like, I love these, and he's like, yeah, no, that doesn't fit what you're trying to say. And he knows me so well and knows what I'm trying to do, to where like when we filtered it down to like 13 songs, we knew we had the best 13 we possibly could have, because we listened to them over and over again until we were like, okay, like these are the ones, like these. So I'm hoping these 13 songs really changed my life, but I think we really got the best ones. So, but yeah, it took a lot. I've written so many over the last few years, just like whenever I'd go through a breakup or I'd fall in love, I'd write a song about it, or 12, and then we'd have to like, all right, well, now we got to go through these ones. So it was a long process, but I think we finally narrowed it down. If I tell myself we didn't, then I'm going to want to go back and recut the whole thing. So I keep telling myself it's good.
That's the most surprising to me. 90-something songs. Like, Sherwin, how long does it take us to do 90 episodes of this podcast, and we're doing it like just off the cuff and throwing it away?
Well, almost 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I love listening to Joe Rogan, you know, because he's all the time talking about people that are, you know, he's talking to people who are either really smart or extremely athletic. When he's making comparisons to the fact that we're all human beings. He's like, yeah, but like me and Shaq, we're barely the same thing. And the analogy I want to make is like people that are actually good at music. Like, I'm trying to teach myself how to play the guitar. I know like 6 notes.
Sorry.
And, you know, I'll goof around on YouTube, and I'll occasionally record me singing a stanza or two, and it's not good. But it's fun. But the people that can, like, listen to, like, you sing a song the way you think the cadence ought to go, and then they immediately know what notes to play on their discipline. Like, we're barely the same thing.
We're not the same person.
Like, it's a different level of human being.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It really is. I mean, coming from what I do, like just writing and playing, like I walk in with the song that I wrote and I play it for them, and it's like the musicians just take it to a whole nother level. It's like they've somehow gotten in my head and figured out exactly how I wanted it to sound. And every time I go in with these guys to record something, like I know, like, and usually I won't say anything just because I want to like see how it, like how fate, you know, wants it to sound. Then I'll go in and play it. And like there was one time, and it was so weird. I had this guitar riff. This was like one of the first songs I recorded when I was like 14. But I had this guitar riff like in this certain section of the song going through my head, and I wanted to like. I didn't know how to play very well back then, so I'm like, I don't want to just go up and be like, no, like that's how I want it to sound. Like I'm just gonna try to sing it to you because that's apparently all I can do right now. But the guitar player sat down and played the exact riff, and I hadn't sang it. I hadn't even like, it was in my head. That was the only place that it had been. And this guy somehow like heard the song and heard the same thing that I heard and played it. And that was the moment when I just realized, like, yeah, I want to do this the rest of my life. Like this is it.
Oh man. That's awesome.
We're not the same thing.
Yeah, people on different levels. I don't know what to say. I love that. I love getting the behind the scenes on any of this stuff. Though, you know, anybody that we talk to, Sherwin, but the music stuff with me being such a big music fan and everything else. That's super cool. With that, Sherwin, Sydney is not just a country music superstar. She is also a huge racing fan. So let's go ahead and let's start to tear it down. What do you say?
Yeah. Why don't we start right off the top? And I've added this. This is ad lib.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody mentioned in our message board there during the live YouTube that they really liked the car that was in your Facebook background. Tell us about your car real quickly, the one that you really like the most.
Oh, my baby, my 66 Mustang. Would it be that one?
That's the one.
Yes, that one.
That's my girl, man. So I've gotten into some trouble with that car, but she's my life, my best friend, my other half. It's very true. I'm actually redoing. What I really want to do is put a supercharger on it this year, but it's already really fast.
Ooh.
So I've been I tore apart the carburetor a couple of months ago and fixed that up. Now I'm kind of working my way through it, but I just keep looking at that engine. I'm like, if only you had a couple more horsepower, and just a few more. So that is as soon as I start working on stuff and making it faster, that thing is not even going to be legal when I'm done with it. But I'm excited. She's my baby.
That's great.
Awesome.
So if you throw on a super, you're going to have to take a Sawzall to the baby's hood?
That's what, yeah, I'm thinking. We're going to have to we're going to have to realign her a little bit and make her more of a race car. But I don't know. I'm still torn between if I want to keep her original, because everything on it's original right now. If I want to just buy another one and kind of just to make that one be my Frankenstein that I put a 351 in and just tear the crap out of it, redo everything, weld it. So I won't do that to her, but I might do it to another one at some point.
Gotcha. Oh, Sherwin just
I breathed into the wrong outlet.
Don't die.
Well, what I wanted to ask is, I'm super intrigued. Now, I don't know if I'll ever get to the stage of my life where I can afford to do it, but I'm super intrigued by the idea of you take. They have a word for this that I can't remember, but you take an old body, but you sit it on a modern chassis. So it might look like a 67, say, Shelby GT 500, because that's one of the sexiest bodies ever assembled. But you put it on today's Mustang Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the look, but you have the modern suspension to support the supercharged 5.4 liter V8 and the suspension to take corners the way you would really want to. That whole concept is really neat to me.
That would be insanely cool. I've thought about that. I watch, I'm such a gearhead. All my friends are watching, Gossip Girl reruns, and I'm watching, West Coast Customs. I'm like, that new front end on that car is sick. I need a front end like that on my car. My friends all my girlfriends are, drinking wine and watching me like I'm crazy. But it's worth it. It's fine. I'm okay with it now.
You're on the right side of that fence.
Yeah, I agree.
Ain't no doubt.
Hope so.
All right, Sherwin, we're tearing it down from Texas. We're bringing back the report card, Sherwin.
Yes!
This was really fun. We did it for a little while.
The most fun segment that we just sort of let go.
Yeah, it just sort of went away. And it's time to bring it back and have some fun with this. And y'all send us your thoughts on what the report card, any topics that you want, or if you have a rating for us, let us know too. We have 5 periods and recess today. So here goes nothing. Our first period, grade the old guard at Texas, Sherwin. Kyle Busch wins. Harvick was second. Jamie Mack third. I count him as old guard now, kind of in a
Didn't
a way.
Blaney finish third?
No, Blaney was fifth.
Okay, sorry.
We'll get to that in a moment. Kurt Busch seventh. Clint ninth. So we've got, we've got old guard. We've got young guns. What are we talking about with old guard? Give us a grade there.
Oh, that's got to be an A, right? I would think. The only one that'd be dragging anchor would be Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
We'll get there.
Yep. So maybe that's this report
so
card
that's the
thing.
thing.
So Rusty doesn't tell me how the different periods are going to go. So sometimes I kind of muck them up a little bit.
No. You're doing good in terms of good segues and stuff. But I only said the good parts, right? The bad parts, you just said it, Jimmy. Martin Truex, I don't know. He's probably, he's kind of old guard now, right? He's been around for a while.
Martin Truex and Kurt Busch are both a year older than me.
Yeah. So if we're talking old guard.
We're old.
Yeah, right? We're talking old guard. Martin finished DFL, as we like to say here.
DFL.
Yeah, dead last with a F in the middle.
Yeah, with a fun word that's got a U in it.
Dead fun last. Sydney, how about you? Where do you put the old guard at? What's your grade?
Oh, goodness. I would go with an A. I think I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think a solid. I'll move it a little bit and say B plus because of what you've said, Sherwin. Is if there was folks that didn't wreck out or whatever, but they definitely held the top 3 right there for sure.
Well, Newman definitely would be in that sort of pulling it down to a B plus. And here's what I want to say along those lines.
Yeah, Newman
is not just Newman, but is. So this is exactly why. So what we've seen so far in 8 races this season is exactly why NASCAR needed to market the young kids. Mm-hmm. Because the old guys that are in this sport are really good.
As it turns out.
And they win races.
Yeah.
They get all the publicity for a week for winning a race. Kevin Harvick's already won 3. He was the one, he bitched the most about that campaign. It's like, you don't need any help, dude.
Yeah. And he got second here. Yeah. All right. We're on to second period, dude. I went ahead and grade the young guns at Texas. So we graded the old dudes. Let's grade the young guns. Eric Jones 4th, Ryan Blaney 5th, Bubba 8th, Byron 10th, and I put Chase as 11th. I should probably only put top 10, but Chase in 11th there. Interesting story. We'll get to that in a minute. But that's a lot of top 10s for our young guys, Sherwin. What do you think?
Well, we had some significant attrition, right? Mm-hmm. So Hamlin and Keselowski were knocked out of the race because of a wreck. Hamlin's fault, by the way.
Yeah, and that's old guard too. So that goes into my B plus.
That's old guard-ish. Yeah, I mean Brad's not that old, but he's been around for a minute or two. He's not a young gun.
I mean, if Kyle is old guard, then so is Brad.
So here's what I had a chance to speak with Brandon on Lap Traffic on Tuesday, the Wave Around hotline. And I said, I thought Bubba did exactly what he was supposed to do. He got an 8th place finish when the opportunity presented itself. Mm-hmm. He raced his car very well. And you talk about those other guys you said, they're all in the top 11. I don't know how you could give them any worse of a grade than a B plus in that circumstance.
Mm-hmm. Sydney, your thoughts?
I'm going to go with an A plus just because, those are my guys, man. Those are the guys I've grown up around and, I'm just so proud of them. When I first met, Ryan and Chase and Eric and all those guys, they were running K&N. And, Chase still had braces. I was, 14. And, we've all kind of grown in this together. So, I'm always going to be – my money's always going to be on them just because I love them so much. And, I mean, hey, Ryan, did pretty good in that Xfinity race. Looks pretty good in that cowboy hat. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love getting that perspective, too, because I wouldn't know any better. So, I'm digging it.
Yeah, I love that I love what Blaney's doing with the Glass Case of Emotion, where they're just totally willy-nilly. They talk about anything. They talk about excrement more than any show that I listen to. And Kim Coon's just right there with him. She's in it to win it. She doesn't get
awesome.
She doesn't get frazzled about anything.
I love it.
The one thing I love about Blaney is that he does not have a filter, and he can pull it off so well.
So I'm giving the young guns an A- here. I gave the old guys B plus, and even though they got first, second, third, I'm going A- on the young guns, especially Bubba with 8th, with people questioning, was his Daytona deal a total fluke? Mm-hmm. No, look at him. He's up in 8th right here. He's like you said, he's taken that opportunity. Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones 4th is a huge ordeal in my book in terms of
I think
top 5 for both of them is cool.
Yeah, the only thing that really taints the whole thing is the penalty for Chase. Mm-hmm. We may get into that later.
Yep, we will.
And then, Larson blowing a tire and blasting the wall, too, is...
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Larson, I would say he's already like a superstar, having won 4 races in a year.
He's medium. I wouldn't put him as a young gun, and I wouldn't put him as a old guard.
Age-wise, he's not old, but this is his 4th Cup season.
Yeah, exactly. Third period, let's go there. Third period is the NASCAR progress on the pit gun issues. So we saw issues with Harvick this week. We've seen issues almost every week, and we've talked about it. And Sherwin, I think you have even said before that, hey, let's give him some time. Let's deal with this. But how are we progressing right now as of Texas on the pit gun issues?
Well, I'm going to give NASCAR a C+ on this.
Okay.
Which is, just plainly average. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm going to do that is the RTA, the Race Team Alliance, voted for this. They wanted this because they wanted to stop
That's a good point.
spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to develop a gun to compete with Gibbs. Basically, all they did was eliminate Gibbs's advantage, which if I'm Gibbs, I'm pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they didn't start this process last year in trucks or Xfinity is a little disconcerting because that's how you work bugs out.
Yeah, yeah. Sydney, anything to add on the pit gun issues?
I honestly haven't been. I've been in my own little hole, like working on the record, so I haven't really followed it a ton. But I feel like I don't know. We'll go with whatever you guys said. I trust y'all's opinion on this. You know more about it than I do.
I'm with you. I'm gonna go Sherwin back in college. D was for done. Unless it was like one of your core, or one of your
one of your core STEM classes.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, D is for done. And the way I see it, if NASCAR is being graded, they're like, "Hey, we got a D, we're fine." I think they need to start making some improvements so that they can get to that C or B or et cetera. But you make a great point on the RTA thing that I hadn't considered when I decided already I was giving them a D for done on this ordeal. So we'll go to fourth period. Here it is. You've already previewed it. Chase Elliott's crew chief for the rear window deal. I mean, we saw that whole ordeal go down with Harvick earlier in the year, and they sort of, I don't know if they exactly changed a rule book or as much as like, hey, your rear window needs to be stiff. And Chase's was not. And that's a 2-race suspension. And I think, what did they say? Not Kenny Francis.
Kenny's going to fill in.
Okay, Kenny's going to fill in now. So
Casey Kane's crew chief for many, many years. I think so. What really sparked the ire of the fans is why did Kevin Harvick's car chief get suspended for the same infraction, and Chase is losing his crew chief? Well, the answer to that is, that the deal they had at Phoenix already cost the car chief 2 races. He wasn't at Texas because of that. So the only other person left to suspend is the crew chief.
Yeah.
So that's how that's going down.
So what do you think? Is there a grade to be given here?
Well, I would say so. The person that was involved with Harvick's team the most in talking about the deal he had, Rodney Childers, said, look, here's the deal. We're going 10 mile an hour faster than we ever went at these places. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes is going to matter. Like they may not have intentionally been messing around with those braces.
Yep.
Obviously there is an advantage associated with it. And they probably learned that stuff in the wind tunnel. But basically what he's trying to say is, hey, we didn't do it intentionally. They probably didn't either.
Yeah. Give me a grade.
So
on the crew chief. On the crew chief for this one.
Crew chief in terms of,
should the crew chief
build a car by the rule book?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give him an F in that perspective.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to go give NASCAR a pretty nasty grade on.
There you go.
How they've managed the situation and not understood that how much faster we were going to go with this package.
That's a good point too. Sydney.
Goodness, I would say they're just picking on Chase. That's what I'm going to go with. They're just picking on Chase, and it's not fair. And I just think he should have his crew chief back, and he should be able to do whatever he wants because he's awesome, and I'm sticking with that. So I'm going to give NASCAR an F, and I'm going to give Chase an A.
I love, this is why this is a
fan-based content.
This is a fan-based podcast, and I'm totally in. I'm going to give him a straight-up C because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, And so,
I'm with you on that.
But the problem is he got caught, right?
Yeah,
and so that drops a grade.
That's rule number 1.
Right. If you don't get caught, this is A+, but we're not even talking about it. So I don't know what to say there, but I'll go straight C on this one.
Well, and the next variable of this is the stuff that blew up on the tweeter box, the internets, is that some people thinking that like the Reddit monsters are the reason why NASCAR even knew about the flex, and it's like that's just patently false. Just so anybody who's listeners want to know, the manufacturers themselves pay photographers to take pictures of every single car, every single lap, and every competitor in the garage, including NASCAR, gets access to those pictures.
That's some behind the scenes, that's some Gestapo-ish. right there.
So NASCAR knew that there was a problem with that car before they even finished the race.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You mean NASCAR officials don't just go on Twitter to figure out who cheated and then assess the fines from there?
I know, I love right? the perspective. I love the cheating part. This is why we're here. Here we go. Fifth period, Sherwin. This comes up almost every race right now, but I feel like we're in kind of a critical stage. Jimmy Johnson's future this season. What are you going to grade A through F, where he's at right now and where he's going to be, and the prospect? So if obviously his performance up to now is an F. I mean, yes, or F minus.
If you grade him at where he, what Jimmy Johnson is supposed to be,
right?
It's definitely failing,
right? But let's give him a report card for what the future looks like in terms of.
First he's fixing to lose a $28 million sponsor.
Well, that brings you down one grade level, doesn't it?
Right? So we're already at G minus now.
I just went to Lowe's today, and they did not have an electric oven heating element, and I was upset. So
I'm going to start going to Home Depot. That's just not right.
I already did. I went to Home Depot yesterday.
I already did. I love that.
I've been a Lowe's guy for a while now, which is a cuss
word. NASCAR.
That's a cuss word in Atlanta, by the way.
For sure, especially if you're a Falcons fan.
Right, because Home Depot, Atlanta, and Arthur Blank, and that's a whole thing.
That is a thing.
But I've been, I don't know if I call it closet Lowe's guy, but I've been a Lowe's guy for a while. But
I've not even been a closet Lowe's guy. I've been a deliberate Lowe's guy.
So what do you think? Jimmy Johnson's future this season. Give him a grade.
Like for the rest of the 28 races?
Do you think he stands a chance? Where are we at?
I've got faith that team, that single team can turn it around. But as was pointed out to me very well and intelligently on Twitter, Hendrick has basically sucked for about 3 years. Like they've been behind. Mm-hmm. Jimmy and Chad do some really interesting things to win races, even when they're not the dominant car, because that's what you can do when you're that good.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen Jimmy dominate a race in a while, and if Jimmy's not doing it, those other three cars ain't going to do it either. And Chase has been carrying the torch for 2 years now on a race-to-race basis.
Mm-hmm.
So Hendrick's got to get some stuff figured out, and they're losing Lowe's. I don't know. The rest of the season, I can't believe that this would be the year Jimmy wouldn't win. But only one win would be the worst season he's ever had.
Wow.
So put that in perspective.
Strong. So where are you at? Give us a grade.
It's still failing until we see them go out there and lead laps without doing weird pit strategy. Then they're failing.
Yeah.
They're going to get an F this season, and they're going to have to repeat.
There you go. Sydney, what do you think? Future
That's a tough one. I'm a Hendrick girl. I'm close with a lot of the guys in the 48, and I feel like Jimmy's always better at the end of the year. I feel like he comes into his stride, and he always finds himself, towards the end of the season. So I'm going to have to go with him and probably agree with you on the F for now, but I think he's got it. I think he's got it in him. I think he can pull it out. I really do.
I'm thinking the future here in my grade. And I'm showing my confidence in that this is going to happen. And this is recorded and stuff now, Sherwin, me and you should just talk on the couch and nothing that we said actually mattered.
Right.
It still doesn't matter, obviously, but I'm going with a B. And I'm saying, yes, obviously it's F thus far, but my confidence is strong enough to say, you know what, there's a B. This is not just a passing grade. He's going to be just fine.
Right. He just failed the first. Yeah. Just failed the first test, but got four more to make up for it.
Exactly.
He's got this. It's Jimmy. He's got this. I believe in him.
I once in college made an
Martinsville made me nervous.
That's a good point.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I once made an A in a class that I had a 40 on my first test. And so to your point, Sherwin, we're entering test 2 right now. Where are we at? Not where we at, but what do we look like? So that's what I'm guessing.
It's funny you bring that up.
He's going to get that
little mini story. To tell
do
on
it. Do it.
So I had some. College wasn't always the smoothest road for me, and that's fine. But when I was sort of getting my act together and finishing up, I had a class that I ultimately made a B in. But I made a 16 on the first test. A 16 out of 100.
A 1.6, yeah.
And so the teacher is teaching to the front of the room, which is all grad students, right? They're all grad students that are in trying to learn about like textile processing because they studied something else. But, that happens in grad school. If you don't pick the exact discipline you did in undergrad, you end up taking undergrad classes along the way. So these are very smart, very mature people that are in the front of the room, and they're making like 80s on tests that a teacher who used to work for Monsanto and invented AstroTurf is saying, I would never make a test that you could make 100 on. That'll never happen. He's that kind of teacher. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in the back of the room. I got some friends back there. And, like, my wanting to make people entertained is starting to, like, I'm getting my red up a little bit, my entertainment up a little bit. Yep. And I raised my hand, and I said, you're teaching to the front of the room where those guys made 80s, right? You're going to give them A's? I said, back here, I made a 16, and this guy made a 22. I said, we screwed the pooch. What did you teach to him that you didn't teach to us? And, like, the whole room, they either laughed or they were mortified. Because I said screwed the pooch out loud in a college classroom.
Do not care. Yeah, cool. I'm digging it. All right, dude, that's 5 periods. Now it's time for recess. Let's go outside. Let's go outside the lines. All
right, smear the...
Let's do this. Yeah. How excited are you to get Sydney's new album, Sherwin? Give us a grade.
That's like when you make 100 in an AP class and they give you that 5 extra points. So you like make 105.
Oh, dude, back in our school, it was 100. It was 10 points. You got 10 points extra. You got a whole extra letter grade. That's how these valedictorians and stuff got like the 106 average or whatever.
Well, it's funny. They on a progress report, they could print like because I had a couple progress reports where I had like a 112 on because of extra credit availability for a project or whatever. But then when they printed that to a real report card, the one that went in the books, they can do anything over 100.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, A++, or is there like do you wrap back around? Are we like at Y- or something?
That's funny. I think that's when like you get to do cool things because you made like really good grades. Like we'd had junior marshals. Did y'all have that? Where, like,
no, we got like free pizza and
I didn't take any exams my spring junior year because my grades were good enough that I was helping with graduation. I didn't do all we did was BS work for the last 2 weeks of school.
Oh, man. So, Sydney, there's our grades. How excited are you for this album to drop?
I am like an A++, like all the cool gold stickers that you got in like first grade when you like colored in the lines. Like that's how excited I am right now.
Cool.
Like insanely.
We've got some questions from the PETM posse. Ask PETM. Mick Rose at GoDucks42 _ Mick. He says Plan B Sales and Matt Benedetto. I can't do it. Matt Benedetto.
You're like me today.
Yeah. DiBurrito. They have a deal for the Fall Kansas race to get your name not only on his car, but on the die-cast, Sherwin. That's pretty cool. So is that great idea or bad idea? Mick, I'm saying that's a great idea. We've seen this happen a few times in the last year to 2 years where I'm wearing that. Look, I'm still wearing the bracelet. Jordan Anderson Racing right here. Jordan Anderson obviously has done this deal where you get your name on the car for a certain amount, a nominal amount or whatever. And he's so cool in that, like, he's writing it himself on there. That's a really neat ordeal. I think exploring these options where you're crowdfunding this thing, I think it's cool. I know we've talked about it before, and we even had Tommy Joe come and kind of give us a like reality check on what the.
I listened to that episode on the way here.
Cool. So I mean, but I really like that people are exploring their options here, and the diecast part of this to get your name. Like, if I'm here's the cool part here. Here's the crazy part to me. If you're putting your name on his car, you're gonna buy a diecast. So this is like obviously more revenue because you're gonna buy the diecast too. If I'm putting my name on the car, I'm buying the diecast.
Yeah, so I wondered when I read the question from Mick, and because I did not read the press release, admittedly. So what I didn't understand is a condition of the individual sponsorship of getting your name on the car. Does it include you having to buy the diecast? Because that's what I thought I understood. And Mick said something really interesting. We went back and forth a couple times, and he said, well, if it's happening at Kansas, then it means a hell of a lot more to me than if it was happening at Vegas because I'm going to Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's interesting because I think the only time we did it, we certainly weren't going to the race. It was just kind of a why not?
Yeah.
And it's a totally different deal for Jordan than it is for DiBenedetto because they're going to the race anyway, and they're trying to find the revenue to close the gap on travel costs and hotels and food and that stuff.
I love it. Sydney, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. It makes the fans get to be a part of it a lot more than just, going to the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, obviously with what we're doing with the Patreon account and having a sponsorship and having people get a say and not necessarily a say, but like trust us that we're going to pick a good driver to give the money to.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility for us. I feel like at least in year one, we've lived up to or certainly exceeded expectations before the car has even hit the racetrack because the human being is just a very special person. Thank you, Jensen.
Yep.
And family. So yeah, I think you got to do it the way you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully DiBenedetto gets enough good finishes that when a good ride opens that he'll get a shot at it.
So I love this next question. NASCAR Nerd @_NASCAR Nerd says that he's a drummer and he's heard all the stereotypes. So Sydney, what is your favorite drummer stereotype?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so every drummer I'm not even kidding you, every drummer I've ever taken on tour or done shows with, they don't wear shoes. Ever. And I don't know why. That's a major drummer stereotype for me, and they're all crazy. They're all just running around ADHD, just having fun. My drummer's usually my buddy. He's usually the one I'm off getting into trouble with before a show. The drummer's usually the lively, crazy one, not wearing shoes and yelling at random strangers kind of person, I would say.
So is it they don't wear shoes even while they're playing?
No, so my drummer that I had back when I was 14, Josh Tilton, shout out to you. He didn't wear shoes when he was playing. He would just play barefoot, on stage, whenever. And then session guys in the studio would take their shoes off to play. I'm I don't know if it just is easier or if they just don't like wearing shoes. I grew up in Iowa. I didn't wear shoes anywhere, but I wear them on stage. So I don't know if it's just the drummer thing. I've never seen a bass player do it. So we're just going to go with it's a drummer thing. It must be. They're their own breed.
I was at a show. It was a local deal. A coworker of mine is a guitarist in a band, and there was 3 or 4 bands that night, and so I went to go watch him. But the band right before them, the drummer was this nerdy, awkward kind of guy. That's what he looked like. And then he just randomly, and this was that band was kind of like a rock band, but not like hard rock. They were rock for sure, but it wasn't like hard rock, heavy metal, or anything woo crazy. They were just doing their thing. And in the middle of the set, he just took his shirt off, and it was really awkward. He's got his shirt off, and he's playing now, and it's dude, you must think that okay, that was a mistake. I should probably put my shirt back on.
Confidence though, so he was probably still owning it. Even if he was really white and had no abs, he was probably yeah, man.
He was really white and had no abs. I get totally.
That's a drummer thing too. It must be.
So he was like a mirror.
yeah. And the more everybody was looking at him okay, what's he gonna do now? Is it still gonna be awkward, or is he just gonna throw down, or what's going to happen next? And nothing happened, and that made it more awkward. Okay, you're just going to walk off the stage with no shirt.
He never escalated it to the appropriate level.
Right. What are you doing? All right, last question.
Artist class, you got to at least give the shirt to a girl or something.
Right.
Throw it to the crowd.
I think he
was a big thing.
Clearly
too awkward for that. It was very weird. All right, last one.
I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Trisha Westfall @Trisha R Westfall. Hey Trish, what's up? She says, "Yo Sid, when are we doing our first cover together?"
Oh my gosh, please! We've been talking about it for a solid month now. I love her so much. It needs to happen soon. She needs to come visit and come chill at my house. We need to sing. I think what did we decide on? "Goodbye Earl" by the Dixie Chicks.
Oh man!
Oh, great song.
You got to post that
and hating
somewhere.
mood right now. So
you're gonna need to record that.
Yeah.
Oh, we are. We already we're planning out outfits, a music video. Like we are going in depth with this. It's gonna be.
Oh, you got to garage band the shit out of that.
Oh heck yeah, we're gonna. You guys aren't ready. I'm telling you, it's gonna be epic.
I'm super excited. That's gonna be awesome. Sherwin, it is time to gas it up. We are literally going to Bristol.
Yes, we actually, the two of us are. We'll be at Bristol probably by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Something like that. Yep, sitting in Atlanta right now.
Or 4.
Heading up in the morning.
It's no night race like in August, so there's not as much of a rush.
Right. It's just kind of chill out, no problem.
We do want to set up camp in the daytime, though.
Yes, we want to do that. And we got that cool new tent now that I forgot that we had.
Oh, it's like 5 minutes or less.
Oh, my gosh. That's so awesome.
We used to fight with that old Coleman. That Coleman tent's got some miles on it, buddy.
It sure does.
It's got
some miles, some races on it. That thing's been around.
That'd be like the Bobby Allison of tents.
Yes. Yeah. And it's still a great tent. But now
it's still fully functional.
Now we got the tent that just goes up in 5 minutes. And I hope it can drive back the rain because Blame PETM is strong.
God. Yeah. Hashtag Blame PETM.
Sydney, this will be our third race this year in how many races do they race? Like 8 or so? However many it is. And so we're strong fans and we're trying to
as of this weekend, we've been to 33% of the race weekends.
Yeah, so we're trying to be, walk the walk and talk the talk, right? We went to Atlanta. It poured rain there, and they got the race in. It poured rain, cats and dogs, right before the race started.
Cats, dogs,
it was crazy.
Frogs.
We brought rain to Phoenix in the desert. It rained the day before the Phoenix race and stopped the Xfinity race multiple times. We're fixing to bring rain. I can say I'm jinxing it here, but it's going to rain, Sherman.
It's going to rain.
It's going to rain at Bristol.
Yeah.
And so now it's a matter of how much rain, how much how much gap we have in order to watch this thing. What the hell is wrong with us?
We don't go to too many races. So our motivation to go to races exists for a lot of different reasons, being fans and having the means obviously plays a significant role, but we just want to be a part of as many of the activities as we can, and boy, do we pick the wrong weekends.
Right?
I'd still tell stories. We still tell stories about that Talladega weekend.
Oh, my gosh.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
In May, it was, 38 degrees was the low, 36 degrees? And they got 6 inches of rain or something stupid.
Ridiculous. All right, Sydney,
that's crazy.
Hit us with your pick. We're going to do picks. Tell us who you're picking to win at Bristol.
I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. It's his favorite track, and I think he's on a roll, and he wants it really bad. So I'm going to go with Ryan.
Love it.
I'm not biased at all. Definitely not.
No, it's all good.
No, I love it. Great pick.
Wait, hold on a second.
What?
Did you like the long hair and the beard?
I did. I loved
Excellent.
it. I remember. So his cousin Kaylee, who is the one that cut the hair, is my best friend. And
wow.
He went through a lot. He was really depressed when he cut the hair and shaved the stash. There was a moment of silence, I think. I liked it. I think he can pull it off. He's just the cutest, and he could rock anything. But I liked it. I did.
So she's confirming that guys want to be him, or girls want to be with him, and guys want to be him.
Yeah,
that's very true.
I love it.
I think so. And then he's hilarious in conjunction with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sherwin,
where
are you going?
As much as I don't want to do this, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I think riding a wave of momentum of top 3 finishes and a win at Texas, I believe.
Ooh.
The man who currently owns Bristol, Kyle Busch, is going to win again.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad pick. And here's the thing, with rain and these different factors coming in, I think it's going to be I'm about to say veteran, but I'm not sure if this person qualifies as veteran yet, but somebody who's so strong on the short tracks. I'm going Joey Logano here.
It's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Yeah, from a heart pick, I would have. That's who I would want to pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to see Joey win.
Absolutely. So, we've got those in. Ryan Blaney and whoever Sherwin just picked.
Yeah,
how fast I remember
driver
these
to be named later.
Yeah.
Snickers, as our
Kyle
friends
Busch
from across the pond call him.
Oh, yeah. What up, MOATF? Finally, we get to Stranger Staying. Ashley J. Staying asked us today. I love this one for the sake of Sydney here. Sydney, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Wow, that's a good one.
I like it from a artist perspective here.
I'm probably
say
gonna
mine.
like ruin it and give you the most random word, but like, that's hard. I'm gonna go with dream.
Dream. Awesome.
Because, and that's like throwing it back to when I was like 12 years old. So the first artist that I ever met when I was 12 decided I wanted to be a country artist. His name was Jason Brown, and he is a guy back from my hometown in Iowa. And I was wearing these like super like mud-soaked jeans. Like the concert was incredibly rainy. I waited forever to go meet him, and I was like super shy. I didn't say anything to anyone. I walked up and I was like, "Hey, I want to do what you do. Like, how do I make that happen?" And my mom's like, her jaw's on the ground. She's like, "This kid doesn't talk to anybody. Like, what's going on?" And I had him sign my jeans, and he wrote "dream" in all capital letters. So that's been my word since like day one. It's written on everything. Me and my band all write it on our hands before a show. We do the dream team like crowd thing before we go on stage every night, and so that's my word.
Sherwin, you got one?
No, I really don't. Not one I would really want to say on this podcast. I think
I got one of those words too.
I think there's the ones that
I've got one
that have U's in them. But
I've got one that like it's totally not offensive, but it sure makes people really uncomfortable. And if there's something I love it's making people uncomfortable and watching the reaction. My word is moist.
I knew it.
You knew it was coming?
Oh, that's a fun word. That's one you can get away with in all venues.
Right.
But like the context can
cringe. I'm cringing right now.
I love it.
Oh man, golly, I wish I'd have thought on that a little bit.
Oh man, that's my favorite word because I'm an a-hole and I like to make people uncomfortable about stuff. And
you know what?
Good job. Mission accomplished.
I'll tell you what.
No,
because that's on them, right? Like the word moist is just it's slightly damp.
Oh, it's on you if you've interpreted that
but
a different way.
if you're taking it somewhere, and there's so many wheres you can take it.
Well, so shout out to the Orange Cone. He put this out there, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and I totally agree with him because, and you're going to agree with me on this too, that a totally benign derogatory word that is absolutely hilarious because of how benign it is butthole. That's a funny word.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
great.
All right, with that, I've had a boatload of fun, and we could do another hour and a half or whatever.
Easily.
But we got to close this thing down. Sydney, close us out. Tell us what's going on, and I'm going to play your song right here in the background while we're doing that, so that we, everybody can hear what's going on. But tell us what the deal is.
Goodness, there's a lot of deal. The record's coming out soon. We're getting ready for that, so we're announcing the release date soon. And I just can't wait to get out on the road and meet everybody and be my crazy glitter-loving race car driving self.
Where can people find you at? Tell them what's going on.
I'm at Sydney Lit on Twitter, on Instagram. We're rebuilding my website, so that'll be up soon. And probably at a race track somewhere too.
Excellent. Well, y'all know where you can find us at PETM Podcast or PETMPodcast.com. Y'all just, as Sherwin always says, just go to Google and type PETM Podcast. You know where you can go. As always, I'm Tailgate Mayor or Rusty Wallace at Tailgate Mayor.
And I am Andrew Sherwin at Pregame Engineer and at Andrew L. Sherwin on the Instagrams.
Absolutely. So we're going to play out a few, a little bit of this song. So y'all enjoy, listen. Thank you, Sydney, for being on the show. This has been so much fun. We'll talk to y'all next week and hopefully see you at Bristol.
Yeah, as soon as we have a link to the album, we'll post that. You guys absolutely should go buy it.
Awesome. See y'all later.
Because we can never know how to make our heart understand that life's too short to let it get you down. Gotta dance while you still know how. 'Cause tonight we'll
There we go. All done.
Sweet.
Sydney, that was so much fun.
Thank you. It was a blast. I love you guys.
We really appreciate you joining us. I mean, it's been a fun ride. I hope it gets even more fun.
It has been. Thank you so much for having me. I always have a blast with you guys. Like, I always get so nervous with other interviews, but like you guys just make it so fun. It's like I'm just hanging out with y'all.
Oh, that's so cool. And we get.
I wish we'd have captured that audio.
Right.
Well, I guess we did on the YouTube, but
yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what we want. Like that, you probably just paid us the best compliment we could receive.
Oh, thank you. I try. You guys. I mean, you guys have believed in me. I mean, you guys didn't really know a lot about me when you first had me on the show, and like. That meant a lot, for you guys to use my song even. Like, you guys have just kind of, y'all are just part of the team now. It means a lot.
Well, we are happy to be so, for sure.
Sweet. Y'all are the best.
Let's see.
Sherwin,
you
have
I'm
absolutely the most unique intro and outro music in the fan NASCAR podcast world.
I agree, dude. You have your own country artist, man. Like, I need to just write you guys your own theme song.
Oh my gosh, we wouldn't even try to ask for something.
Yeah, I don't even know how we would return the favor.
Right. You put up with my crazy and you retweet my tweets, and sometimes no one else does that, so that means more than you know.
It's really funny. I shouldn't say funny, but we don't know any better, I guess is the best way to put it. There's a few folks who come on and they say, man, I love being on here because I can just be me and I can be laid back and it's just fun to hang out. And we're like, that's awesome. And me and Sherwin will talk afterwards, and we're like, okay, how do we keep capturing that? How do we capitalize on this? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, there's no way. It's just how we do, and we don't know any better. That's the best part is that we don't know what we're doing, and so,
I don't either.
Plays into the whole ordeal.
One of the cool things about, like I said, I mentioned I listened to the last time we had Tommy Joe on the show because he's hitting the big time now. He was on Nate Ryan's podcast this week. Jeff Gluck gave him another guest spot column on his website, and one of the cool things that he said was, he's like, one of the things we talked about in the first couple of shows was you just got to keep doing it. He's like, and you guys did that. You're still doing it, and that's and so one of the things we learn, and that's the advice we give to anybody is like, okay, so you can give anybody advice on what programs to use and what mixing board or what equipment or whatever is a good way to go, but the advice that we give to people that are wanting to get into doing this thing is you just have to keep doing it, and I would assume. That, I mean, this is a super amateur way to get content out, but it's really the same for you. It's the same for comedians. It's the same for everybody. Is you have to keep doing it.
You do, because it becomes a part of yourself. Like, there was actually an audition for America's Got Talent, like, way back, I was like 14, and I was super nervous, and there was a guy in line with me, and I was freaking out, like, right before I went in. And he was like, why are you nervous? He's like, this is what you do. He's like, do you get nervous to breathe or eat dinner or walk? Do you get nervous to do anything like that?
That's cool.
And I was like, it was the best advice I've ever gotten. He's like, why would you be nervous to do what you do? And this is what you do. You just keep doing it no matter what. Like, you're always gonna breathe. So why would you not sing,
That's cool. That's fantastic advice.
That's neat. Yeah. Did he suck at singing or was he okay?
Oh my gosh, no, he was great. His name was, oh my gosh, what was his name? Brian Alexander. He was like a cabaret singer from Detroit. Huh. And the guy was amazing. I've tried to find him since then, and I haven't been able to. But I want to track him down because that's the one moment that whenever I'm doubting myself, I go back to because I remember this is what I do. Why am I nervous? This is what I was born to do. So.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a really cool moment for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know that we were born to be fan hobby podcasters, but we certainly have enjoyed it to the point where we're approaching. Having done it for 3 years consecutively.
Y'all are great at it. Like you said, you make everyone feel at home and you're just chilling on your couch drinking a beer talking about racing, and that's the best setting to be in.
Right. Well, I mean, and
that's pretty much what it is.
And yeah, that's all we know. As we always say,
get your news somewhere else because we're gonna have fun. We're gonna teach you something along the way, typically. But this is the place that you come to have fun.
Exactly. I learned that the first show, man.
Well, with that, we're going to shut down the YouTube. Thank y'all so much for joining on the YouTube. You're the best. Doing your dream should come natural, says Roger, and thank you for throwing the dream word in there. He didn't use moist, though. Somebody said, I hope Bristol is not moist for y'all.
Oh, it ain't going to be moist. It's going to be wet as hell.
Yeah, right. Even more than that. So thank y'all, as always, for joining. We'll talk to y'all next week, and we'll break down how moist Bristol actually was. So see y'all next time. Thank you.